You might have heard about Cronos zkEVM, but what are these hyperchains and what does a zero-knowledge protocol actually do? And of course, what does it mean for the CRO price? Well guys, I would say let's strap in and let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only Coin Baron, and back in 2018, I was already studying the power of Ethereum and its potential use cases. And I think, well, right now in 2024, a world without Ethereum or Ethereum virtual machines like we see on Cronos is really unthinkable. So I even wrote my thesis about it, but I do have to say that, of course, the world is still progressing and we are thinking about new ideas, new protocols, and one of those is zero knowledge or ZK protocols that you see in zkSync and now also in zkEVM. But honestly, this is not an easy thing to grasp. So in this video, I will try to explain the concept in layman terms and also give you some practical use cases. And also I will try to explain what the potential might be for the CRO price. And we will also end by talking about the Galaxy Quest, where you can actually earn a bit of reward by participating right now on the zkEVM testnet. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. First things first though, what are these zero knowledge rollups that we're talking about like zkEVM on Cronos? And well, they are a solution to a very, very big problem on Ethereum, namely scalability. On Ethereum, we can only do around 12 transactions per second. So that's not enough when the whole world is going to really use Ethereum. So they thought about, okay, we can add multiple hyperchains on top of Ethereum. As you see on this picture over here, we do have the layer 1 Ethereum. And on top of that, we do have multiple layers of ZK chains. And well, so far nothing new because we already have layer 2 solutions on Ethereum like Cronos EVM currently. But there we also do have a problem because we have multiple layer 2 solutions. We've got Polygon, we've got Binance Chain, we've got Cronos EVM, but we don't really have a centralized solution to all these multiple chains. Really though, if you have some money, for example, on the Binance Chain, but you really want to try out a dApp on the Cronos EVM chain, well, tough luck. You first need to make sure you transport all the money with a bridge to the Cronos chain, and only then you can start using it. But that's when we get the solution with the hyperchains. As you can see, we have multiple hyperchains over here on this picture. And one of them over here is Cronos. And this picture is made by Meta Labs that created zkSync. But as you can see, we're not the only one. But the good thing about this picture is I think it really shows that we are all interconnected. It doesn't really matter where you have your money, if as long as you are on a hyperchain, these all are able to bridge over the funds that you have on one chain to another, and there will be zero pain felt. This is also one of the core benefits of zkEVM as mentioned over here in the white paper by the Cronos team, because well, we have shared liquidity with all the hyperchains. And again, here you see Ethereum is the layer 1, and there we have multiple hyperchains like zkSync Era, like Cronos zkEVM, and all the other hyperchains. So guys, this is going to be a very big benefit for all the hyperchains out there. Honestly, this shared liquidity is a much needed improvement for the user experience as well. Because right now, if you go to a shop, it doesn't matter where you store your fund. Is it Bank of America? Is it any European bank? As long as you're using a Visa card and the store you're going to also accepts a Visa card, the fund is just going through. And the same will also now be enabled on those hyperchains. It doesn't matter if you're storing your funds on zkEVM, zkSync Era, you can just shop everywhere as long as you've got funds on the hyperchain. Another big benefit mentioned by the Cronos team is the native account extraction. And again, guys, this AA is nothing new. But the good thing is on ZK rollups, this is by default enabled. And let me explain why this is so important. Right now, for this example, guys, I'm playing a game on the Cronos chain. And this game is called Chivo, so let me know if you want to learn more. But right now in this game, I can upgrade my buildings. But to do so, I will trigger a transaction fee. And this transaction fee for me is no issue because I'm well known on Cronos. I got some CRO in my wallet. But let's say, guys, I am not known with Cronos. I don't have any CRO. How am I going to play this game? How can I upgrade my stadium? Even if I have the native cheat token over here? Well, you can't because you will always need to buy some CRO first. And I think there, guys, the native account extraction will really help because developers like over here on Chiverse could decide, hey, we're going to make sure we pay the gas fees for all your transactions, or maybe the first transaction or the first week of transactions. So the user experience is going to be a lot more smooth. Finally, on the zkEVM chain by Cronos, they also activated yield-bearing assets. So if you're going to store your assets on the zkEVM chain, you will still be able to earn yield. So for example, if you stake your ETH on the Ethereum chain, you will get around 3 to 4% ETH in return as an APY. But of course, if you're bridging over to any other layer, that's not possible. But with the partners of the Cronos team, like Vino Finance, they're trying to make something like that still possible on the zkEVM chain. Therefore, guys, they have activated zkETH, zkUSD, and zkCRO. And I think, guys, this is still one of the main really differentiators of the zkEVM chain, because this is not really possible, I think, on the other chains that I know of so far. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the Cronos team really nicely sums it up with shared liquidity, native yield-bearing assets, and native account extraction. And I hope you now understand a bit better what is happening on the zkEVM chain. But what then about the price? Looking at the Cronos chart, it doesn't really seem like people are catching on the zkEVM announcement, because of course we did see some rise in the CRO price, but had nothing to do with the announcement of zkEVM. And even right now, guys, we are not looking that great. That's mainly though because I think people don't understand the capabilities of zkEVM, but also there is still this question of adoption, because people still need to actually put their money, their funds from Ethereum or from the Cronos chain into any hyperchain out there. And the question is, will people do that? Honestly though, I think when people start to see, hey, I can make some money on the zkEVM chain by the yield-bearing assets, there is quite an incentive to move their funds over there. So guys, that is a reason why people might move over to Cronos, especially because the gates with these hyperchains are wide open due to the shared liquidity. When we launched the mainnet for the Cronos EVM chain, guys, in November 2021, as you see on the chart, that was an absolute great time to start your investment into the Cronos token. But this time around, guys, I think it's a bit different. So we do expect the zkEVM chain to launch in the end of summer 2024. So we might actually see, of course, a big jump in the price. But I think right now the macro environment, what is Bitcoin doing, what is the economy doing, is more important than what is Cronos doing and what is this zkEVM fundamentally changing for Cronos. And of course, guys, remember, when we launched the Cronos chain, the bull market was full on. It was full on. And right now we're still in the beginning of the CRO bull market, I would say. In the short term, I don't expect much price movement for the CRO token after this news. Mainly also because we have seen no price movement basically for Polygon with exactly the same thing. So guys, I would not hope too much for big price changes. But for the longer time frame, of course, this is bullish news. This is new tech, which is going to be used, in my opinion. And therefore, we are still one of the first movers that actually went in there and implemented the ZK rollups. So that is a good thing for the price. Short term though, not too much. If you do care about the short term though, I do recommend checking out the quest on the Galaxy website for the Cronos testnet of the zkEVM chain. On the Galaxy Quest, you can, for example, find the instructions to connect your MetaMask wallet with the Cronos zkEVM testnet and to send yourself some test CRO over here. And also there are a few quests which are a bit more cool, I would say, to, for example, create your own smart contract, so create your own token. But right now, guys, I still need to finish one of my final quests, which is make at least 3 transactions during week 3. So let's quickly go there. And there I do need to connect with one of the first dApps on the testnet. So let's go over here. This is one of the dApps on the testnet over here. And let's send some CRO to the wallet, which will make sure we have a pop-up over here of MetaMask. And we'll make sure to actually send over here some, well, test CRO. Okay, we just finished all 7 transactions. So let's go back right now to Galaxy and make sure we also get all rewards over here. So we need to refresh over here. and then we should get all 7 transactions. So let's claim all 15 points. So right now we are done, I think, with my Galaxy quest. And I don't know, guys, what the reward will be, but I might expect a bit of ZK Crow, but who knows. Then, as a final take, my personal experience on the testnet. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, it hasn't been really blowing me away. The transaction times were still normal. The gas fees are still normal. And also the first dApps made by the Cronos teams are still normal. They don't use really the great user experience of, for example, the account extraction. They just offer the normal experience. But honestly, I don't expect them to make the best dApps out there. I really hope that the partners, the launch partners of the zkEVM chain will make a difference and they will use what a ZK rollup actually offers. But we'll have to wait and see. And I think this is the most important part. Will, well, the Cronos team, find the best partners? Because, of course, again, chicken egg, without good dApps, without good programs, no reason to use the EVM chain other than the yield-bearing assets, which makes for me a great reason to use the Cronos zkEVM chain. But okay, I'm still mainly bullish, fundamentally bullish, guys. What do you think? Have you used the testnet yet? Are you bullish about zkEVM? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this more educational content, also let me know in the comments down below. But that's me. I'm the one and only Coin Baron, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then.